Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Mage the Ascension 20th anniversary rules by Onyx Path Publishing. This actual play is performed by adults and contains adult themes. Our World of Darkness is intended for adults. Listeners should pay close attention to all listed content warnings. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your storyteller. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I am back as your storyteller for our Mage the Ascension series of Prelude stories, and I have a fabulous player with me. I'll get to that in just a second. At the top of the show, as we always like to do, we'd like to thank you, the listener, and especially you, the Patreon supporter, who are getting this early. So if you like getting early episodes, jump on the Patreon and get all of the fresh news as soon as it arrives. You can check us out over on YouTube. Just type in the Old Ways podcast. You're sure to find us. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Now, before we get started, as I like to do with any World of Darkness game, I would like to remind you, the listener, that this is a mature game. It will include mature scenes and themes, right? So it's just important to understand that if that's not your vibe, check any specific content warnings in the show description and then make the right choice for you. Joining me at the table tonight, I will let him introduce himself.
This is Lecco, previously known as Alex in other Old Ways recordings, playing Dante Maxim Vargas Bailey.
Indeed. Okay, Dante. Today is September 23rd, 2023. It's a day, a lot like many of the other days you've experienced previously. You have work to do. You have a regiment, a schedule of things to perform. Not just in your job as a performance artist, but in your home life, the regiment and process that you use to fine-tune the machine, which is your physical body. So given that is sort of a construct that you've created, I'd like you, if you would, to take us through what Dante's normal morning routine would be like.
Well, it's quite normal, really. It's the most normal thing in the planet to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, spend some quality time in quiet affirmation and meditation, prepare a very light meal for myself, usually consisting of something like a couple of egg whites, some diced vegetables, only the things that I've selected specifically either from the market or that have been left for me by my family because they know what my body needs as well, as they are no less diligent about themselves. Well, they try. They do their best. And then I begin with a run through the chilly streets as the sun is coming up, or depending on the season, really. It's September, so morning's going to be a little late. I don't mind getting started in the dark. No music, just myself, my thoughts, the street. I like to spend time running blind, trusting my feet and my awareness of the space around me, my familiarity with the streets. It's cost me a couple of collisions with people as they've, emerged surprisingly from storefronts early in the morning, but nonetheless, we try. And then once I get back, after my run, I will begin my first bit of training for the day, which is going to be technique practice. I like to get my form solid in the morning. So we do lots of balance work, we do lots of mobility work, and then it's climbing, it's swinging, it's slowly and methodically going through whatever routine is either planned or on the docket. And if I don't have anything planned, then I'm going through my basics, I'm going through my fundamentals. Again, without music or outside inspiration. It's important to me to keep myself level.
Okay. So it's a Saturday. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the weekend for you. You don't work a normal 9-to-5 job. You work multiple jobs. That's right.
We have a couple things that we get done. Sometimes the shows don't always make ends meet. So what the circus cannot provide, we will earn for ourselves through the celebration of the human form. In the only way Vegas really knows how, I will dance for them.
Indeed. So today has you at MGM Grand. Right now, a little bit later in the morning, you're going to have to appear for the practice run before the 9 p.m. show. It is the Cirque du Soleil Ka show that you're a part of today. It is something that you have taken part in more than a few times. You're a fairly trusted, if not a little bit new cast member. You have drawn a specific character recently, and that is the Firefly Boy. So it's a sort of Tarzan-like character who's the forest tribe leader, and during the event you fall in love with the twin sister of this main character. It's a great expression. It allows you a lot of opportunity, and you get a lot of spotlight during those times. What you choose to do with that spotlight in your own mind is something I'm sure we'll get to at some point in the course of the chronicle, like what really makes you want to do that. But practice being practice, there is a regimented schedule, a time to show up, a time to prepare, a time to go through and make sure that the set is performing properly, that you are prepared to move forward and to, show your stuff in this way.
Well, if the motions aren't second nature, the expression can wait.
Okay. Getting onto the MGM facility is relatively easy for you. There's a simple couple-mile walk from wherever you get. I don't know if Dante's the sort of person who would just walk there, or Uber and then walk.
3 miles is it's less than an hour, so sure. It's not quite hot enough to cause me any excess fatigue or to stress me out for the show. It's still early enough in the day. If the practice is, in the early afternoon or late morning.
Yeah, it's late morning. They generally practice late morning to get away from encountering any potential temperature issues. That's in season or out of season as far as the heat goes. September in the desert is definitely cooler than it is in, say, May, June, July, and especially some of the hotter parts in August. But still, there's some warmth by the time that you arrive, although nothing too terribly that you can't handle. The first person you see upon entering the Ka rehearsal area is a gentleman you know pretty well. His name is Roberto Farley. Roberto is a veteran of both stage and screen. So he had a couple of minor Hollywood roles when he was younger. He has been a gymnast and a junior Olympian when he was younger. And then it went on to his stunt career, which was fairly successful, which led to some, we'll just say B-level roles for him eventually. He settled out in Las Vegas about 8 years ago or so. And he has been with various performing groups for the past probably 7. He's a Latino man, probably at this point in his late 30s, early 40s. You're not really sure. He's sort of got one of those faces where he could equally be in his late 20s or in his late 40s. It would be impossible to tell. He takes very good care of his body, and he has quite the routine himself in preparation. But he's the first to greet you.
Do I call him Roberto generally? Farley? How long have I known him?
You would probably call him Roberto. You don't, you know his last name, but you wouldn't probably call him by that.
Okay.
You're close enough in the troupe to not have to sir, yes, sir, anybody at this point.
Morning, Roberto.
Good morning. He greets you with a wide smile and shakes your hand. Ready for today?
I'm doing my best. I'm confident there's nowhere to go but up.
You're going to fly, kid. You're going to fly, just like last time. He sort of not shuttles you, but walks with you to the prep room where people are doing stretches and getting prepared, and there's changing rooms to either side, obviously, but you can see like the myriad of costume racks and just all the makeup and all the prep work, which is laying in wait because obviously nobody's going to put on full performance attire or makeup at this point. It's just rehearsal.
Yeah, Dante is not an unfriendly fellow, and probably smiles and waves at anybody who makes eye contact. But everybody's here to get work done as well, so he won't distract them from what they're doing.
One thing that does catch your eye, Dante, is one of the not lead women in this troupe, but another one that plays a somewhat critical role within Ka. You see that she's sitting a little awkwardly in a chair, and she seems to be trying to massage out something, maybe a pain in like her knee.
Did she perform yesterday? Did I see it?
Yeah, you saw her performance yesterday.
Did she have a bum landing?
You think one of her roles in like the final act when they do some of the there's a part of the Ka performance later on where they do this sort of celebration and a dressing ritual and then like a hand balancing ritual as part of it. I think you seem to remember that she may have landed a little awkwardly. She recovered fairly well, and you don't think the audience noticed. But when you're behind the curtain and seeing the action in a different perspective, some of that's pretty hard to hide.
Bertha, hold up. We got a second, right?
Yeah.
I will kind of head over. Do I know her name?
Yeah, this is Lena. Ramsey is her last name.
Lady Lena.
Hey, Dante. She sort of not winces, but you see that her facial features are changing a little bit. She's trying to rub just right above her knee and maybe to the right side of it.
When I catch her eye, I'll give her a big smile and just kind of get on a knee. Yeah, you all set for today? You feeling up for this?
Yeah. I'm just trying to work the knee a little bit here, just to make sure that it's 100%.
I mean, I'm no doctor, but I can stretch with you for a moment if you want. I'll offer my hand out.
Sure.
Put a hand behind her knee with the other one, and I'm not going to maintain like weird eye contact with her, but I want to make sure that she's breathing through the stretch right. So I will try to get her to focus. Like I'll get a pretty serious look in my face. I'll try to be comforting as well. But Dante's doesn't really do subtle. So he's kind of like grimace smiling. Like, I hope this doesn't hurt too much.
Sure.
And I will give her a few solid assisted stretches and see if I can help her work out whatever. I mean, if it's injured, it's injured. If she's in pain, then I'll do my best to conceal the fact that I realize that she's like injured, and we'll have another conversation. But if she's not injured and it's just kind of sore or taut, then I will sit with her until I can work it out.
Yeah, you end up sitting with her for a little while. Roberto eventually moves on to...
I'll catch up, buddy. Thank you.
To the stage itself, and you sit with Lena for a while. Probably 10 minutes or so. You do some short and then longer form stretches to see what flexibility she has. And you think she's probably right. She's probably 90% on that knee. It's the 10% part of the calculation that you grimace about. Because some of the falls and some of the distance, especially in the Ka performance, can be in excess of 70 feet. And yes, there are, well-laid airbags and, important safety measures in place, but it's still 70 feet.
While still talking to her, I'm going to just kind of rummage around really quick for a brace, and I will kind of help her wrap her knee up. Look, this is a practice. You should be able to get away with wearing this, but you have a show tonight?
Yeah. She looks around, just almost as if to make sure that people aren't listening in.
Mm-hmm.
Arya didn't show up yesterday for the after, and nobody's seen her. They've called her. People are worried that maybe she decided to get a different job, stuff like that. And so director came to me and asked me if I would be willing to stand in for her role. They would backfill my spot. And she takes a deep breath. They want me to play the nursemaid role. And you know instantly that this role is on stage far more often than the role that Lena is normally in. And she sort of bubbles up really quickly to you. It's not like I don't know the role. I know what I need to do. I know I need to be. And it's just the extra pressure, right?
Like, you don't have to convince me of anything. But broken legs don't dance. Hey, tell you what, we got some time, right? Let me get through this practice, and then I'll see if I can find Arya.
Okay.
You get into a damn soaking tub and find somebody to help you nurse this thing for as long as you can before the show.
She nods sort of vigorously. Yeah, I'm sure Ben has the tub at least cleaned this week, and that'll help.
This break should get you through practice. I'll see what I can find out about Arya. I'll rummage around in my bag for essentially like anti-inflammatory painkillers.
Yeah. Ibuprofen. Here's 800 milligrams of ibuprofen.
I just hand her the bottle.
She nods. You see her take some and then hand the bottle back to you.
Be okay. I'm really happy for you. It's a great role. You're going to look great out there. Just not if you are sliding across your face for half the show.
You're right. Get to practice. I'll get to the tub.
Yeah. Oh shit. I stand up and run.
So practice involves a ton of stuff. And for you, one of the things that it involves is actually really part of the fun of this role. You do an awful lot of leaping and sort of cartwheeling over people. You get a lot of the Tarzan role here, and practice makes perfect, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you go from beam to beam.
I look for people to vault, whether they be willingly or unwillingly. I'll make a bit. I'm not going to make a mess of things, but I'll have some fun. I mean, we do this every day, so I imagine acting out is not out of line as long as you're not bringing as long as you're not breaking stride.
No, the director of this show is pretty well secure in his troupe, and I think what you would get from that is there's a little flexibility. He knows what his people can and cannot do. People get out of line occasionally at rehearsal and at practices, but as long as it stays in time with the beat of the show, that's what's important.
As I am worming around and kind of involuntary somersaulting over people, I might shoot them like a question. Hey, you seen Arya? Hey, you seen Arya? She didn't show up today. Hey, you seen Arya? I'll ask around. I don't know who she hangs out with or like how new she is, or if she's been here forever.
She's been here a little longer than you are. She has spent most of her time hanging out with some of the, because she plays a critical role. She hangs out with a lot of the, we won't say upper crust people, but the people who have parts that are associated with hers, right? So there's this, her sort of counterpart, her twin counterpart is a guy named Jamie Fitzgerald. So Jamie is Las Vegas born and bred, has a fancy last name and the money to back all of it up. He's somebody who is talented by your comparison. He's a competent performer. He does well at what he does, but he doesn't do this because he has a passion for it, you don't think. He does this for the fame part of it, for the lead role part of it.
Okay. last thing I want to do is shed any shadow on his pre-performance. So if I do see Jamie at practice, I won't say anything about Arya until we're wrapped. Like when practice is over, I'm going to look for him.
Okay. Practice wraps up, and you find him. He's not impossible to find. He has a larger build, but larger physical build. He's almost too large to play the role that he's playing. He's not approachable. Sort of taking off his kit when you walk over.
Yeah, when as I'm walking over to him, while I'm still kind of like behind him over his shoulder, I'll kneel down, go into my bag. I'm gonna wake Sophia up, who's probably like currently huddled in the midst of my clothes and kind of my spandex and all of that stuff in there.
Okay.
So I reach into the bag and I kind of extract my little mink and wake her up.
Mm-hmm.
Go get food. Go eat. I will put her down.
Okay. You put her down. The darker colored fur becomes a bit of a whirl on the floor and it slinks away.
Hey, Jamie, you got a minute?
He stands up, turns around.
Pretty good out there. What they feeding you?
Oh, only the best creatine. He pats his chest.
Hey, I don't know if you saw, but Lena's got a brace on. She's actually kind of nursing a bit of a knee. And she's got a cover for Arya.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you have an idea why she's not here today, do you? Like, I'm not trying to make trouble for anybody. I'm just kind of curious.
No, I don't think it's any trouble. He gives the backstage area once over to see who's around, and he takes like a little step closer to you and says, so Arya is pregnant.
I'll kind of raise a couple eyebrows and poke him in his creatine packed pectoral and kind of like...
He puts his hands up. It's not me. That's not the way we play here.
I was going to say, that's a bold choice.
It's a choice. So she was going through her performance yesterday, and after everything was over, show's over, she comes back here, she unloads her gear, and then she spends a lot of time in the last stall, evidently. People start making sure that she's okay. They're worried about, all sorts of stuff, right? Whether it's some food sickness or, God forbid, she's got COVID or something. And I walk her out to her car afterwards. She tells me the news. She's worried about her life being fucked. Obviously,
that's tough.
So she said she was going to take some time off from the show and think about things. She told the director that she's not feeling well, running a fever, and she just needs a few days. I don't know. But it's tough too, because we were about to work through a really important routine. He smiles a little bit. I'm trying to get the combat scene added back in at the end.
Really?
Yeah. So as you might remember, the original portion of Ka has a combat scene at the end.
Oh, I'm very familiar with it. All three sides of it.
Right. Because of safety concerns, they've taken it out. And I think it could be reworked. And I think that there could be an amazing... He sort of steps back a little bit, and you see him begin to gesticulate. Imagine there are two poles, and there are people down at the bottom symbolizing the armies back and forth. And then there are two performers at the top, and they're jumping from pole to pole, fighting all the way down. I've got the whole thing worked out.
Bullshit. You wrote a routine?
Hey, I can write routines.
I just figured you might have, had somebody do it for you.
Listen, I do my own homework, promise. You want to see?
Yeah. Look, I told Lena that I would at least get a beat on where Arya is, and I don't want to rat her out, obviously. It's none of my damn business. It's not my story to tell, but...
This will take 5 minutes, maybe 10 at most.
All right, fine. Twist.
All right, come on. He runs back onto one of the practice stages that's still set up. It's still set up for the final portion of the act. They haven't swapped anything out yet. Most of the staff has cleared out, but you can see that these big airbag pods that are sort of under the stage that help cushion falls are still present. We put a pole here, and he walks over off stage and gets one of the poles that has safety harnesses to it and sort of tries to set it in place. And then we go over here, and then he puts the other one in place. And these poles are like 50 feet in the air. Some seriously high poles here. We take people and we gather them up. Now, we wouldn't be able to do this fully, but if you've got your balance, you can probably climb to the top, right?
Sure.
He steps over across the stage and picks out 2 stage swords, Tai Chi swords. It's simple. It's easy. You jump to my pole. I jump to yours. We hit swords in the middle. We do it all the way down as this sort of cross-stitch technique.
This sounds pretty rad. It also sounds insanely dangerous.
Yeah, that's what's going to get this thing pumped back up. Listen, Ka's been a great show for a really long time, but it's losing.
No, I'm not saying that's a reason not to do it. I'm saying, look, this is really good, but I feel like you're missing something.
Okay. What am I missing?
Well, it's only going to get easier as we slide down. So why not make every cross exciting? So instead of doing 3 or 4 crosses on the beams, I'll point higher. 1 trapeze swap.
Okay.
With a heel catch. Drop to the pole. You'll be dropping fast enough, you'll only get 1 swing on the way down. You basically have to catch yourself on the pole.
Yeah, but I can do that. Yeah, that'd be electric.
I mean, not to say they'd even go for it. I mean, they'd probably make us sign a waiver and cry about insurance, but it sounds doable.
Listen, they're insured. Let's just test it to prove it.
I don't really say anything as much as I kind of take a deep breath and center myself and like kind of put the sword on the tip of my foot and then take my jacket off, pop the sword into my teeth, and I start ascending.
Okay.
And I look across at him with, another grimace smile, but this time holding a sword in it.
Yeah, Jamie takes his sword and you see him probably put it behind his back, like in his leotard, and
sure.
He begins ascending. You're not afraid of heights. You're not afraid of much, really, to be honest. Not on this stage. Very comfortable. And the person you're working with is also comfortable as well. He does weigh a little more than you do. And so you can tell off the bat that if Jamie really wants to make this work long term, he's probably going to have to cut a little weight because the pole moves a little too much.
Yeah, it's going to sway pretty hard.
You hear him call out to you. All right, ready?
I was waiting for you.
He tilts his head and then leaps into action.
Yeah, the same. I don't hesitate.
So why don't you give me a gymnastics roll? It is sort of your bag.
So this would be dexterity and gymnastics, right?
Yep.
It's acrobatics for me, I believe. It's acrobatics with a specialty in gymnastics.
Correct.
How do specialties work in Mage 20? Is it 10s or 2 or something else happens? I forget what happens.
I believe it's 10s or 2. Player counts every 10 rolled as 2 successes, not just 1.
Okay. And I'm going to assume that is Jamie handed? Like, does he have a strong hand? Does he have a strong side?
Yeah, he probably has a strong right.
Okay, so I'm going to let him hang from his right so as to be stable, and I'll swap. So I'll go to his weak side.
Okay.
Target number 7, correct?
Yep.
All right, that is 5 successes.
Okay, fantastic. So 5 successes is going to give you an awfully good roll. You perform the first sort of part of this flawlessly. Jamie does an excellent job as well. It's not nearly the level of panache that you offer the scene, but he's no slouch. He keeps up as best he can, and you make that trapeze movement. Coming down is sort of exhilarating. It pleases that inner daredevil part of you. And then the locking of the ankles around the pole and then becoming inverted afterwards is fantastic.
I probably let out a whoop.
You do. The trouble is when your ankles lock on that pole, the pole safety harness gives way while you're inverted.
Well, that's awful.
It is. And it's only going to get worse. Inverted, sword in mouth, you see yourself careen into the space beyond the stage from the sheer force of hitting that pole and effectively not having anything there as resistance.
Oh, I'm a rocket. I'm a human rocket, right?
100%. You, like a rocket, flare off into what you know is coming. And it's the only thing in the blink of an eye that helps you not feel fear. And that is that there are a many layered of airbags that sit under this stage to cushion someone from falling at this height. And when you hit those airbags, the fear comes back like a punch to the gut because you fall directly through them. No slowing, no easing, nothing.
So I think to myself, they're not full.
Darkness arrives. Not just because of the airbags, but full darkness, visual, audio. You don't hear the hit at the end. You don't feel the impact in your body. You're sort of in this zone where it's hard to grab at what consciousness is. There's a voice suddenly in your ear.
Oh, is the pretty boy finally awake?
Hello?
Hello?
Am I dead?
No. I'd actually say that your life is just beginning.
Oh my God, I'm so dead. Why can't I see anything?
Well, that's because, for right now, I think you don't need to see anything.
Oh, that's right, because I'm fucking dead.
No, because you have much to learn before you go back to whatever play you were just doing.
Wait, who? I don't understand what's happening.
Well, you, my friend, might notice that your little pal, colleague, fellow mortal, Jamie, feels very far away right now.
Did he land it? I swear, he probably did that, bastard.
I don't know. If you really think about it, feel about it, you might be able to tell if he's okay.
Feel about it. This is all very disorienting, would be to put it lightly. But I have the benefit of obsession on my side. So I'm going to lean into what I know, which is my inner voice. Are you my inner voice?
That's one thing you could call me.
And you're just now talking to me?
Well, you needed to wake up to hear me first. I think you'll be hearing from me a lot more from now on, though.
Oh God, I broke my head.
Oh no, a mortal head is far more broken than a mage's. Michael, can I make him feel his life senses? Like, can I make his, bring his attention to those?
Yeah, sure. That's what you want to do.
I want him to feel how far away Jamie is now.
Okay.
So that he can get a sense of feeling about where people he knows, like life forces near him, are.
Okay. So when you think about Jamie, just thinking about him landing this trick potentially, because you're, well, as you said, maybe just a slight bit obsessive. The thing that you feel, Dante, is you feel a presence in this area, in this darkness, that somehow you know is Jamie's presence. You feel like the feeling of his adrenaline and the flow of his blood. And then you
No, I know that he has to drop weight.
you suddenly feel you have the feeling of you hearing your own blood flow, not just heartbeat, but like flow.
Wow.
There you go, little mage. Did Jamie land it?
Is that mine?
Yes.
Jamie's fine. He just needs to drop weight. What is that?
That. Oh, child.
What do you mean? What? I have a name. I don't know who this mage is.
I'm sorry, Dante. Let me try this again. Welcome to one of your many lives, finally beginning correctly. You can call me what you wish. I do not really mind. I'm sure that you will find many titles for me, and I'll present many names to you over time. But for right now, we should discuss.
Do you really think I'm pretty?
In time, you'll figure that out too. For now, let us focus on the fact that you are more than just a little human dancer. You will find that you are able to do more than just be very beautiful for a human, or jump or acrobat your way through situations. And you will need to get used to the things that I will show you, because I will push you and continue to push you. And it may try to break you, but as long as you work with me, respect me or fear me, whatever the job requires, I will make you pass the limits that you currently hold for yourself. Do you understand?
I think for the first time I do.
Perfect, pretty boy. Shall we begin our work?
Just to be clear, I'm totally not dead, right?
You're totally not.
Where's Sophia? I look for Sophia.
She's a little far, but there is a unique pattern around here. It's not a single heartbeat. It's not a single pattern. There's an echo there. It's not the echo of a heartbeat, but there is sort of this additional harmonic sound in your ear. It sort of creates a slight bit of a chime, and then it becomes really loud in your left ear.
Oh, what the hell is that? I'm screaming in my own head, I guess, because I don't know how to scream. I don't know how to work my mouth right now.
Do you even have a mouth?
I don't know. Well, hold on. Maybe. I think about all the things it should be attached to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there it is.
Help. Help. Help? Am I talking?
You are talking.
Oh, God. Well, you're not God, right? Because that'd be weird.
Very few have ever tried to consider me that, no.
Right, so you've done this before?
I have been around the wheel a few times. You will learn to know what that means.
I need to call you something. How am I alive? Am I alive? I'm alive. How am I alive? That fall should have killed me. My neck should be broken. I should probably have a caved-in skull, a collapsed spine.
Perhaps your body is fine, but your mind kept falling because it needed to.
All right. I think I will call you Tutor.
That sounds absolutely fine to me. For now, I will be your tutor.
You said you wanted to show me stuff, so how do I get out of here?
So you think about getting out, Dante, and you sit up.
Ugh,
It's an intensely painful experience.
why? Ugh.
Well, I can explain. When you sit up, you find yourself in a very dark room. This room looks like someplace in an office building, maybe a basement. There's a lot of cluttered furniture in here, sort of remnant carpet, and some other things. There's a distinctly large hole in the ceiling. And you see just the last vestiges of a red emergency lighting system that sits over a door that says exit. There's only the E and the T that are illuminated.
This doesn't look like a hospital.
No, it looks like you landed on a desk. It's broken and it's been split in half.
Oh, we'll stand up and crack a whole bunch of things.
Oh, you instantly regret that idea. Realistically, standing up is sort of a symphony in its own right of pain. Not only do you feel all of the damage that your sternum and ribs and neck have sustained, you get the full effect of being able to feel every portion of your cellular structure at the same time. So sort of this full body withering pain. And the best part is you can take it.
Can. Oh, man. So this isn't the... I look up at the ceiling again. You said, is there a hole in the ceiling?
There is, but there's also the ceiling. So there's a hole where the drop tile is.
Okay.
But there is the ceiling above that you see. So it's not like you fell through that ceiling. Just getting a visual in the area, you realize that there are some things that begin to have little telltale signs. This looks like maybe a abandoned doctor's office.
No, doctors are weird. I will climb off the desk and there's a door and what? There's nothing. Is there anything else in here besides the door?
Yeah, besides the door, yeah, there's, again, remnant furniture, carpet. Nothing that screams Vegas, by the way. But there's some, like one of those folder holders that's been bolted to the wall so people can, drop things there. There's a planner on a desk nearby. It says December 1987. It's got coffee stains on it.
Okay, this doesn't make any damn sense. Tutor? Are you there?
Yes, Dante, I'm here.
Oh, that's creepy. Okay. Oh man. This isn't where this is a strange place.
Oh, indeed it is. It won't be the strangest you will find, but it is the strangest place you found yourself yet.
How did I get here? I fell through my mind fell? That's what you said, my mind fell.
That is wont to happen.
Awesome. So I don't suppose you have any idea where we are or who. I look at the planner. Who Dr. Can you make this out?
It's hard to make out the name.
Dr. Coffee Stain. I throw the planner. 1986. I wasn't even around.
No, you weren't around in 86. A little bit before your time.
Yeah. Enough, like 14 years. All right, I'm going to go over to the door.
It may be...
I heard that. What was that? What? Okay, so it's not just me.
Before you leave.
Wait. Okay.
This might be before your time. But is it for those you care about's time?
Well, no. I mean, hell no. 86. I think back. What were my parents doing?
Well, you think back.
37 years ago?
You are a part of a very large family. You have many siblings, right?
11, yeah.
You're the youngest of many siblings. Even at the rate at which your parents were having children, it's...
Been breeding for a while.
86, 87, that could have been close to when they got married, maybe?
I'll look around the room again. What kind of doctor's office is this? Is this like an examination room, or is it like the office part?
This looks like the office part. This doesn't look like an examination room.
People I care. I'll pull one of the charts out of the wall folder.
Okay. You pull it out. Inside, there's a detailed description of someone you know. This is your mother. This is her medical description. It lists her age. It lists all of the pertinent medical details about her, including the fact that she's, as of this chart, she's 8 months pregnant. She's about to give birth to your oldest sibling, your oldest brother.
What the hell? There's no way I should be seeing this. This is decades ago. Why am I seeing this? Do I remember anything? Do they ever tell me anything strange about when he was born, or the conditions of his, I don't know, is there a war story?
It's not so much a war story, but your father has regaled you a couple of times the story of when his first son was born, that it was a terrible, terrible storm that had kicked up, and that the clinic that they went to, because the hospital wouldn't take them, the clinic that they went to have your brother was struck by lightning when he was born. And it fried a ton of the equipment in there, and that your mother pushed through and gave birth essentially by candlelight and flashlight.
It's because she's a badass.
And that's when you hear an enormous bolt of lightning crackle through the air and shake the building with a terrible thunder.
And that's when you start to see your father's stories unfold before you in the office that you're standing in. Your mother giving birth to your eldest brother, your father in a panic about the storm, the equipment frying around you. You're there. You're present for a lifetime of stories about this moment.
How? How is this even possible? It's like magic.
It is magic. Dante, I hate to break it to you, but I referred to you as a little mage before, because you are magic.
I mean, like for real? This could all be, I could just be in a coma, right? No, that's too weird.
Yes, young Dante, for real.
Okay, so how do I do magic then? How did did I get us here? Am I here? Did I just travel through time? Am I a time traveler? Holy shit!
Unfortunately, she sort of jumps into your spiral about becoming a time traveler to sort of gently go, no. Unfortunately, while that is technically possible with magic, that is not the type of mage you seem to be apt to be, my friend. You will have to feel your senses expand into the branches of magic that you are naturally accustomed to. You will be able to grow in those directions. But I would see what you can do with things such as you sensed Jamie before when you were curious about if he had made it.
Yes. So you're telling me that instead of being a time traveler, I can evaluate the components of my gut microbacteria?
Yes.
Oh my god. I hurl. I find a garbage can, hurl.
I love that even in the past you use a garbage can.
Don't look.
You look. It's worse than that, though. It's
everything's so alive, so gross.
It's the analyzation that your brain immediately does, knowing all the nutrients that you've lost. That's the worst part. Then your brain gets involved, and your brain sort of segments a little bit, and you suddenly have this sort of mental image of a calculator a nutritional calculator and now what your deficit is.
But I know it's true. Like, I know it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, at this point, I just put my back to a wall and kind of hold my head for a minute. This is too much. This is way too much. No, bladder, stop. Whoa, no, don't stop. Why are you stop? Nope.
You seem to be spiraling a bit, young mage.
I'd rather be a time traveler.
I do feel as though your guide, though strange, should be upon us soon.
My what? Somebody's coming? I wipe my mouth and kind of like dab at my eyes. Somebody's coming here? Wait, is my mother here?
No, we have seen her. She's not physically here, and when you are ready to leave, I think you will find yourself in a more familiar place. But you'll meet her soon enough.
Oh, so this is like, I was going to say mind palace. My problem is I started thinking about my brain. And like, brains are kind of weird. I try to think about my thoughts instead of my brain.
Oh, that's weird. Like they come out as most visual images of what you're thinking about. It's almost like you're projecting them into the space around you to think about them. And then there's this noise. It's a rustling noise in the room. And you've heard a sound like this before. And you see a creature you know. You see Sophia.
Oh, Sophie, fuck. Thank Tutor. I reach for Sophie.
Sophie looks at you a little strange at first. It gets up on its hind legs and stares at you.
Baby, it's me. What are you doing?
And then slowly approaches you, sniffs you.
Are you real? Is she real?
You reach out and can get a sense of Sophie.
I don't want to. I don't know what she eats when she goes hunting around the circus. I don't want to think about it. I'm thinking about it anyway.
You are.
Me.
Ooh. Well, she's full. That's nice.
I really wish you wouldn't eat those.
It's all the circus peanuts.
Yeah. Are you okay? I'll reach a hand out to her and let her come to me.
Yeah, she comes to you. She seems to touch you very gingerly. She seems to be concerned about something.
If she seems agitated, I'll put her down and I'll say, show me.
She stays put.
I will try to bring his mind senses and surface level thought awareness to the front for him.
Oh, that's helpful. She's sensing that you've changed. In a sense, you get from Sophie is that you smell different.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I kind of lost my lunch. I'm fine. I promise I'm fine.
And then you hear her thoughts. Not in the human communicative way, but just the waves of mental images that come off of her. And you see in her mind's eye, she's picturing sitting in your chair at the house, like curled up in your lap. And that's what she's trying to get to. Sophie wants to be safe. She wants safety. And so that's the image in your head that she's projecting to you.
Do I understand that these are like projections and not just kind of me intuiting? Like, does it feel differently?
It does feel differently because the thought doesn't come from you. Like you're sensing her mental framework. It's the differences between imagining something in your own mind and then seeing almost a holographic projection of this image and this mental construct.
Then I will do what I do when she is not confident. I'll be confident for both of us, and so I will stand up, give her a very solid jawed nod, and I will pick her up and put her on my shoulder.
Okay, she comes to you and gets on your shoulder and sort of huddles close to your collarbone.
We're gonna be okay, Sophie.
She looks forward, like towards the door.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Or are you thinking that? Fuck, I don't know anymore. How many of us are in here, Tutor? In my brain, it's me, you, and Sophie.
Well, I was just pointing out one of the things you're naturally apt to do, Dante. If you're not going to test out for yourself the things I am trying to tell you, then I've got to test them for you.
Well, I don't know what's possible.
Anything is possible if you try it hard enough and push yourself long enough. I thought even you'd know that by now.
I want to think about the pain I'm in. I want to understand it.
Yeah, you took a fairly large sort of concussive hit to several portions of your body. When you think about it, you can see the dents in your epidermis, the bruising, the internal damage as well. So the damage to bones, sinew. You get this mental image of the interior portion of your body and your body cavities. And it's enlightening in a way that you don't think any science class or YouTube video could really be. And you get an understanding of how that happened. And then the picture overlay image of what you know your body is when it is whole. The two pictures are not the same. But you can feel yourself as you go through the movements of this, almost a form of self-awareness and technique. You can see the two images begin to mimic one another. You have to focus real hard. And you feel your muscles tense. And your blood pressure doesn't really go up. It stays real level. But as you go through these movements, the body images begin to match again. You take that final deep breath in and hold it, and then eventually let it out. And when you let it out, you make this motion, this diamond pattern with your fingers. It's almost you're doing a diamond push-up, but against open air. And the images match. And you sort of feel warm all over.
Better?
Honestly, I won't say this often, but I'm proud of you, Dante.
I'm gonna store that forever.
It's your one freebie.
All right, you two. Guess, fuck it. I bolt for the door.
I am going to put mental images of his siblings, his cast, just the myriad most important people from his life leading up to this point, progressively closer to the door as he has to run through them to get to it. They'll just be images of them, so he will be able to run through them, but I'm going to line them up between him and the door.
Yeah, it's a really interesting image overlay. And as you reach out for the door handle, the images begin to mimic what you're doing, but from the opposite sides, almost as you reach for the door handle, you're reaching through multiple generations of your own siblings' hands, and you grab a hold of the door handle and yank it open, and you step out into the late afternoon sun of Las Vegas as the door from one of the side cast doors of the MGM Grand shuts behind you. And that is where I'm going to call our prelude to a close. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed our Prelude series. We look forward to seeing where our chronicle, the aptly named Ascension of Babylon, leads us. Thank you, and good night.